Dan, should I buy now or should I wait for prices to come down or should I wait for interest rates to come down? 2023 is not shaping up to be the year that we all thought it was going to be. Some of us thought that there was going to be crashes in home prices. Some of us thought that there was going to be crashes in interest rates. Some of us thought there was just going to be complete bedlam.
Oh my God! Go back the other way!
None of that seems to be working out quite as we expected. Interest rates don't seem to be coming down anytime soon. Inventory doesn't seem to be increasing anytime soon, and prices keep going up. So if you're thinking about buying or investing in real estate, you might be thinking, what's the move? I'm Dan the Realtor, your local DMV real estate agent. I make buying and selling houses simple. Let's get into it. The biggest reason people invest in real estate and the biggest benefit of buying real estate in general is it helps you build generational wealth and it helps increase your net worth. And with the spring market coming up, now is a really good time to consider if buying a home actually makes sense for you. According to the National Association of Realtors, homeownership is the largest source of wealth among families, with the median value of a primary residence worth about 10 times the median value of the assets held by families. Home equity does a lot more to build your wealth, pretty much better than any other asset. And so that brings us to you getting ready to make a decision on whether you want to buy this year or if you want to wait. Dan, I want to buy, but I want to wait for the interest rates to come down. That's something that I know weighs on a lot of people's minds. So we can really kind of figure out what interest rates are going to do by looking at some historical interest rate trends, and that'll give us an idea of where we can expect interest rates to go in the future. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Make sure to hit the notifications button so that you're the first to know when I drop new content. So we saw a little glimmer of hope early in the winter, and then over the next couple of weeks, interest rates started creeping back up again. And this is one of the biggest concerns for most potential home buyers, the unpredictability of interest rates. The combination of high interest rates and increasing home prices is really pushing home ownership out of the realm of affordability for a lot of people. Should I wait until interest rates go down or should I buy now? The Federal Reserve, in hopes of quelling some of the inflation, are increasing the interest rates so that they can slow buyer demand and then bring down the inflation. As we know, the inflation ticks up because of increased buyer demand. The Federal Reserve's hopes is that they can reduce some of that buyer demand and hopefully reduce inflation as a result. The most recent weekly average 30-year fixed mortgage rate reported by Freddie Mac is at 6.5%. It's the third week in a row that interest rates have increased and puts them at the highest level that they've been this year. So the first graph shows the total single-family home sales in the millions. This is a very interesting graph because you notice it kind of goes up and down, which is to be expected. So let's pan all the way over to 1990. There were about 3.2 million home sales in the year 1990. And then if we keep going all the way over, we can see between the years of 2002 and 2006, there were about 32.2 million home sales. The highest happened at around 2005 with 7.1 million home sales. Now, if we scroll all the way over to the right, we can see from 2018 to 2022, we had about 27.3 million home sales. Now, that 5-year span is something that you'll really want to pay attention to as we move forward. Pay careful attention to where we were in 2022. 2022, we had about 5 million home sales. And if you look back, the last time we had 5 million home sales was around 2007. This next chart shows the annual home price appreciation in the thousands. The average home price in 1990 was $94,000. What a year. Oh my God, that would have been great. And as you can clearly see, yet again, we're getting kind of this wavy shape, right? All the way up until about 2006, where the average median sales price was $222,000. If we keep going all the way over to the right, you can see in 2022, we actually hit a peak average home sale price of $386,000, which is 12% above the trend where we would expect the average appreciation to be. And that was obviously because of the pandemic and the historically low interest rates. That pushed prices way up further than they probably would have been in a normal market. And as you can see, we're starting off 2023 a little bit lower, but not as much as you would expect. The average sales price so far is around $382,000. Now, if you'll notice from 2006 to 2016, that 10-year window, it took us 10 years from 2006 to get back to the average sales price of $222,000, which was in around 2016, 2015. So it took 10 years. Now keep that in mind. Remember that 10-year span, because this is going to be super important when you're thinking, Dan, should I buy now or should I wait for prices to come down or should I wait for interest rates to come down? Here's something that's interesting. At the bottom of this historical chart, The lowest average sales price that we've gotten to was $166,000. That's the lowest that it went. If you scroll back over to the left, you'll see in 1990, the average sales price was $94,000. So after the Great Recession, the median sold price was $166,000. It never went back down to the $96,000. It went down a little bit and then it took off again. And then it shoots back up again from 2011 and it never goes back down again. So for the past 11 years, home prices have appreciated. So then you say, oh, well, hey, what goes up must come down. And that's true. But the question is, if you're buying a house and you're waiting to buy, waiting for prices to come down, how far down is it going to go? If this was 2011, and you were waiting for prices to go down to $94,000, well, you would have lost out because 5 years later, houses went back up to $222,000. And then it kept going up to $297,000 median sale price. And then it went up to $386,000 median sale price. The next chart that's going to be super important and super indicative of where we are in this market is inventory, the amount of houses we have for sale at any given moment. And if we stop selling houses today, the amount of inventory tells us how long it would take us to completely run out of homes. So let's look at the inventory from 2001 to today. In 2001, we had average inventory of about 4.6%. In other words, if nobody put their house on the market today, we would completely run out of houses to sell in 4.6 months. 2007, 2008, we started seeing the inventory started to creep all the way up until we hit 10.4 months of inventory, which tells us we're in an extreme buyer's market. When we're in an extreme buyer's market and there's a whole bunch of properties on the market, this house is on the market, that house is on the market, your neighbor's house is on the market, that's when you get the price decreases because it becomes a race to the bottom. The buyers walk around and they go, who's going to give me the lowest price? That's when buyers get deals. And then as you can see, the inventory starts to trail off all the way down to around 2018. We were at 4 months of inventory. Then we trailed off in 2020 to 3.1 months of inventory. And then during the pandemic, we dropped way down to 2.3 months of inventory. Now we're starting to see the inventory come back up, but anything below 6 months of inventory is still technically a seller's market. Right now at 2.7 months of inventory, we're still in a drastic seller's market. The two main issues are prices going to go down or are interest rates going to go down? From looking at the inventory, we can see in 2008, what caused home values to go down was a huge influx of inventory. Right now, we're not seeing huge influxes of inventory. We'll have to keep looking at the inventory to really tell us where we think the market is going. As it exists right now, there's just simply not enough inventory for us to see rapid home price depreciation. Next, interest rates. The Black Friday sale is over. If you're waiting for a 2.5% interest rate market, it ain't never happening again.
Aw, man.
And frankly, I wouldn't wait for that. The lowest interest rate we've ever had in the history of our country came around 2012 and then again in 2020 and 2021. We've never had as historically low interest rates as we do right now. The lowest interest rates we've ever had was in 2012 at 3.8% interest rates. Then they kind of crept up and stayed around 4-5%, and they kept vacillating in and out of 4 and 5%. And then in 2020 and 2021 was when we had the historically low interest rates of 2.5%. That is what caused prices to shoot up so much because, again, that increased that buyer demand. And when buyer demand attacks the supply gets reduced and that pushes the prices up. That's going to be important when we go into the next topic. If you look historically, you can see the highest interest rates we've ever had was 16.63 back in the 70s. If your plan as a buyer is to wait for interest rates to come back down, you may want to prepare to pay a higher price for your house. As we've seen, when the interest rates go down, that increases the demand and that pushes the prices back up. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, are you trying to save money on your monthly mortgage or do you want to save money on your home purchase? Here again, we see a chart of the average monthly mortgage rates. At the bottom of the mortgage rates was 2.74%, and that was in January 2021. And we know what was going on in January 2021. 17, 18 offers on properties getting bid 20, 30% above the actual fair market value. If you're waiting for interest rates to go back to 2.7, then you may want to prepare to be entering into a very, very competitive market. That could work negatively in your favor if your hopes are to save money or to get a better deal on a property. Real estate is a long-term game, but you also have to make sure that it makes sense for you and your budget and where you are in life right now. If you know that you can't stay in this house for more than a year to 2 years, it probably doesn't make sense for you to buy anything right now. You need to be prepared to stay there for at least 3 to 5 years. In the event home values do take a slight dip like they did in 2011, you can ride that wave out to the next wave of appreciation. One of the biggest mistakes I see potential home buyers make is attempting to time the market. The key is not trying to time the market. The key is time in the market. The biggest challenge in the housing market right now is how few homes there are actually available for sale. The two dynamics that are keeping housing inventory at a historic low are rate-locked homeowners and those homeowners not having anywhere to go when they do sell. If you want more information on that, feel free to take a look at this next video. I'm Dan, a realtor. I'll see you next time.